do, but it's just that when you get to, I mean, when you find someone you can get accountable to, it makes the work quite easier. So that is what this PDT is. So you are given a lifeline and you're accountable to someone. So that makes the work and the journey faster, right? So what we train people, we train people on free online trainings, public speaking, character development, confidence, competence development, and other skilling ups. So members are held accountable to the project managers through various intensive assessment, targets, reports, assignments, and other plans that we do. Membership of this project is free, but you have to register. So the link to registration will be posted later, or you can also reach out to any of the admins here, or probably signify on the chat box so we can take it up from there. So it's free. What we just need from you is your intent to show that you are committed, and we don't just want we don't want people to add up to the group without any form of interest, right? So we want people who are committed to their personal development. We want people who are true to what they've said about their commitment. We don't just want the numbers there. We want people who are committed. So what we are asking from you is your diligence, your commitment, yeah, and your responsiveness to all the tasks will be given. So we understand that some of the enemies of personal development include laziness, procrastination, and indiscipline. And that is why at any point in time when we notice any form of these traits, laziness, procrastination, we remove members, and we do that from time to time just to make sure that okay, everything is tidy. We want active members. So we are go-getters and we are hungry for results. So if this describes you, or you have someone within your cycle that can be a benefit, that can benefit from this project, please, you can extend this meeting now to those people. You can share any of the flyers. We'll be posting some of the content that we have on the chat box, or probably you can also reach out to one of the admins for any link for registration. We have the registration for Bank of Opportunities. We have the one for PDT. We have several other projects that we run. I believe Mr. Bankola Kifolari, we talk more about that later. But if you have someone around you, probably you're a parent or a teacher, or someone you think can be a beneficiary of all these things, you can please share. This meeting is just starting, and I promise you, it's not going to be a waste of time for you. So please share to as many people as you can within your cycle, and you will be blessed. I'm very sure of that. So right now I'll be welcoming Mr. Shegun. Is the team lead, on-ground team lead for Bank of Opportunities, as he'll be taking us up from here. Over to you, Mr. Shegun.
Okay. Thank you very much, Miss Aderonke Oyewole. Thank you so much. All right, I'll be quickly, because of our time, I'll be introducing our admins to us tonight. So we have the founder of Bank of Opportunities, in person of Mr. Akinfolari Bankole. He is the founder of BOO and the director of BOO. And also Ms. Aderonke Oyewole. She's the project coordinator of BOO. And my humble self, my name is Awodele Oluwasegun, and I'm also an admin here. And also tonight, I would like to introduce our trainer tonight, in person of Dr. Abiodun Jombadi. Is a lecturer at the University of Kwara State in Malete, and he lectures at the Department of English Language. And I've worked with him, and when it comes to time management, I can assure you that you will get the best tonight. So I want you to stay tuned and get prepared, and you will have all the best. Thank you so much, and you are welcome once again. I would like to welcome Mr. Bankole Akinfolari to lead us further now, the director of BOO. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Shegun. Thank you very much, Ms. Aderonke. It's been great. We're so happy to be here again. This is the first official meeting we'll be having in 2024, and we're so excited to be here. A couple of things have been said regarding the personal development track, which is just one project under the Bank of Opportunities, which is an NGO, like Miss Aderonke said. So we are very much committed to helping people through the journey of personal development because we understand the importance of personal development, especially in this multi-directional generation where multi-directional human beings and individuals are exactly the relevant fellows in this dispensation of this human existence. Gone are the days when people focus on just one thing. I could remember for football lovers, I could remember a couple of years back, maybe like 10 years backwards, when football clubs would hire one individual who could play a particular position very well. I mean, excellently well, excellently well. And then the footballer stays in that particular position, maybe as a midfielder. He stays in that position, stations himself there. If it's a midfield, I mean, a center back or left back or right back. So they just get stationed at that particular spot and then they perform their duty there. But very swiftly, in a matter of years, the trend changed. And then we began to see those who could not multitask becoming jobless, becoming useless, facing out of relevance as such. And football lovers would understand what I'm talking about, that today, football clubs are looking for utility players, people who can multitask. As a midfielder, you can also defend and you can even strike and score goals. So football clubs are not looking for just a midfielder that could stay at the midfield and just man the midfield and do and perform some wonders, and then you are not able to multitask and fill other roles. So such individuals are the leaders in this generation and this dispensation, and that's why it's very important to develop oneself to be multi-directional. So you get all around, developing every aspect of your life without leaving any stone unturned. We have a couple of things to talk about, and also in the project, the PDT, there are a couple of things lined up for the year, including the fact that I will also be taking a personal round of trainings with us, but just to peg it there, I'll come back. Let's welcome Mr. Shegun to take us through some of the things we have in PDT before we proceed tonight. So, Mr. Shegun, over to you.
Okay, thank you, sir, Mr. Bankole Adeforaren. All right, so I will quickly be running us through what we do and what PDT means. So PDT means Personal Development Track, which is one of the capacity building projects we run as a community development service under our broad community called Bank of Opportunities, that is BOO. PDT is a 6-month per cohort project that runs in cycles of that is twice annually. We have the 6 months cohort that is from January to June, then July to December, like that. So the PDT project is developed out of our passion to be intimately involved in people's personal development. After our first official monthly capacity building training in September, one of the things, a man can do for himself is engage in personal development. I mean, when you engage yourself in personal development, giving yourself all it takes, equipping yourself, to become a better version of yourself. This is one of our passion, that's born the PDT project. So, and then since the September training, we have been committed to pacing the members through one-on-one Zoom meeting, free online capacity building, certificate training, language learning and development. Also public speaking, character development, confidence and competence development, and other skill ups. I'm sure some of us here online can testify to that. And one of the things we do here is that we held members, accountable. I mean, this is a training that you go through and you will be accountable. It's not just, it's not just a training, like you just come and go like that. You are held accountable of everything you are going through. So, and it is an intensive training, So after going through the training, there's an assessment, there's a target, there's a report assignment, and a series of personal development plans. Another form of demand involved in order to ensure, the personal, in order to ensure that, something is really happening to you. So we must understand that in our society today, apart from education, getting yourself education, another thing that you must do for yourself, is involving yourself, giving yourself this personal development of a thing, scaling yourself up. When you look at the age we are today now, uh, yes, of course, your academic certificate is very, very important. But with your certificate, for you to compete out there in the world, you need a series of skills. Now that the machine is already taking over. So if you are not careful, I mean, looking back now, before the development of drone, the way they used to take overhead shots is whereby a cameraman, and then we have there's a chopper and a cameraman, up there to take an overhead shot. But nowadays, you don't see something like that anymore. Drone can easily do that. In fact, far, far better than, a cameraman and the chopper could give us. So imagine if we are in that kind of world today, and all you do is just to have your, academic certificate. You're not scaling up. You're not putting much into your personal development, so to say. So one of the things we are here to do as Bank of Opportunity people is that we invest in people, to become a better version of themselves, to be able to compete out there in the world, to be able to face, the challenges out there in the world. Nowadays, companies don't ask for what you can, what you can do alone, what you're capable of doing alone. They want solution. Yes, you are an engineer, but what solution can you provide on the field? What are the advanced knowledge that you have gained in skilling yourself up? You know, as an engineer now, being a project manager is a good advantage for you. Project management is also a skill that you can get. And if you are an engineer, involving in series of projects, I'm talking of probably a construction engineer now. When you skill yourself up, it will be an advantage for you out there on the field. I have a friend who is a networking analyst, and I remember when he was looking for a job. There are so many network analysts out there, but of course he had an added advantage just because he knows some things about programming. Now, where am I going tonight? The fact is that all these things are not taught in the schools. For somebody that study a computer science, probably they, show you peripheral of what, programming it's like and the like. But the best thing you can do for yourself is to go out there, and skill up and empower yourself. And that is what we at our BOO are committed to. We are committed to helping you, become a better version of yourself, scaling up, in order to compete out there in the world. So when you come to the personal development project track, one of the things you get is a development, beyond your education certificate. We help you to boost to boost your how do I put it now? In order for you to be able to compete out there in the world. So I'm rounding up now, of course. But before I round up, we understand, quite well that some of the enemies of personal development, includes laziness, procrastination, and indiscipline. In fact, procrastination will not help you at all. And I know some of these things, whereby you want to acquire a skills and you begin to, okay, think of what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And before you know it, time is going. This is 2024 now. I'm sure some of us here would have made some probably what do they call it now? New Year resolution. That I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll do that. Yeah, it's very good to have a New Year resolution. But I want to put it to you that why don't you just, face that one goal, two goals? I mean, not so many things that you won't achieve anything at the end of the day. And that is one of the purpose why we are here for you. That is one of the reasons why we put out the personal development project out there. So, and I want to encourage you, it might not be you that actually need it. Somebody in your world, somebody out there. The way we can develop our society is by helping others to come up by what we have. When you have a skills and this other person have a skills, this other person we can make this world, a better place rather than just sitting down looking for a job, hunting for a job. There are so many things you can develop on your own when you acquire these skills. Imagine being a public speaker. You don't have to wait for a job. Job should be looking for you. So that is why we are here, to help you, prepare for the future, to help you prepare, for the challenges out there. And I want to encourage you, to follow us and then help, to share it to your world out there. The project is massive, of course, and you will not regret it as it were. So thank you so much. And I would like to welcome Mr. Bankole Akinfolari to take over. You're welcome, sir.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for that. With much that has been said already, we're going to be moving straight to the meal for today. And just okay, and just a bit of just to mention this, we though I will still say the major part of it later on after the major training, but I mean the year is loaded for us. Like I said earlier, we have a couple of things lined up for the PDT this year, and we really want everyone to respond and cooperate with the plans. Actually, personal development is something that has to do with discipline. So you have to self-discipline yourself to be able to get the best out of it. So I want to encourage you, even as we go through the training tonight, as our esteemed guest speaker takes us through this journey tonight, I really want to encourage you to make sure you make good notes, listen as much as you can, and follow through. Okay. So, okay, I think his network is bad. He's been locked out. Mr. Shegun, please, can you do a follow-up on Dr. Ojumbadi? I think it's been locked out. Okay. So while we wait for him to come up again. So while we wait for him to come up again, okay. So while we wait for him to come up again, let me just quickly say this. For this year, it's important to have a goal. I actually have a presentation here that I've prepared, but it's not for today actually, and it's a whole lot. I mean, a whole lot actually. So we'll be going through this training together in bits. It's a whole lot. It's going to take us some time before we finish it. So we'll be taking it in bits, and I really want to encourage you. This year is not a year to joke with because there are a lot of opportunities this year, right? And if there are opportunities, then don't also forget that you need to develop yourself to qualify for, taking and grabbing those opportunities. Opportunities will definitely be available for those who are ready and qualified. Opportunities will not wait for you to get ready. You have to live ready before they come. Okay. And it all starts with you. It is something personal. It starts from you. Personal development starts with you. It starts from you. Okay. And I would like to commence by saying that personal development is a function of how much of discovery you have made of yourself, of your inner self. Okay. Is looking inward and focusing on ways to better yourself. Okay. So personal development is about looking inwards on how you can better yourself. So if you look within you, everybody knows those areas that you really want to improve on, and you know the areas that you are actually strong at. Okay? So personal development, being real with yourself when it comes to personal development starts with looking within you, inward. Okay? Focusing on ways to get better from within you, inward, from inside. So you can begin to make some lists even as we speak now. Looking within you, what are those things you feel are like a kind of weakness and you want to improve on them? Okay, when you look inward, what are those things? Some people are poor at time management. Okay, some people are poor at planning. They can't plan. Okay, while some people are good at it. Some can't stand the test of prayer before they collapse, before they give up. So they are not persistent. Okay, that's a weakness. So begin to look within yourself. So it will help you to identify how much you need to get committed to personal development. Personal development, like I will tell people, it's a lifelong journey. You can't graduate from the school of personal development. And that's why also, like Miss Adirunke said, the vision for personal development track is not something that is terminal, It's expected to be a lifelong thing for you. As long as you exist, you continue to develop yourself. Okay. So no one will graduate from personal development and say, oh, I've developed myself well enough now that I don't need to work on anything. I don't need to improve on anything again. I don't need to develop myself again. No, nobody will get to that stage, actually. And if perchance by accident or by something you decide on yourself to reach that place where you now say, look, I think I've reached my capacity. I can't improve beyond this. Now at that point, the person starts dying. So anytime you think you can't improve again on a particular thing, it means you start dying because there's no stagnancy anywhere. It's either you are improving or you are decreasing. You can't stay on the same spot. Okay. And if you check it, someone who could drive very well because he drives every single day, he continues to improve because he drives every day. Now, when it gets to a time that the person gets detached from driving, maybe for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. So the last time he drove was 15 years. Now he's resuming driving after 15 years. He's not going to be on the same level. He won't start driving at that same expertise that he left driving 15 years back. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't, he wouldn't have remained on the same level of expertise of driving 15 years back. Now, 15 years later, he's not going to be the same person. I hope you know that. So that's to give you an idea of what I'm talking about, that nobody stays on the same spot. It's either you are improving or you are decreasing. And I'm sure everyone here is ready to keep improving because we actually don't have anyone here who is ready to be reducing. Rather, we have people who have made up their mind to increase and continue to improve. And that's why we have you here, actually. So that's just a quick charge for you. And that's just like 0.01% of what I've prepared that I told you about. So you can begin to imagine that what we have for the year is loaded. Okay, so don't forget that tip. Look within yourself. Personal development starts from looking inward. Looking inward. Look within yourself and focus on ways in which you can better yourself. We are here for time management. Some people are very good at time management. Some are very poor time managers. Okay? And it's going to affect your result, whether you like it or not, whether you accept it or not. How you manage your time affects your results because time is life and life is time. Okay? So it's important. So please keep that tip as we proceed. Please join me powerfully this evening as we welcome Dr. Abiodun Jombade to take us through this journey this August day. You are very much welcome, sir.
Good evening, Pastor Bankole. Thank you so much. I appreciate you and every team member. I thank God for your life and what you're doing, impacting everyone, especially the youth. And let me welcome our esteemed participants. I can see on the list. I can see Abimbola. I see Adedeji Joseph. I see Akisa Olawale, I see Michael, I see Olubukola. Just pardon me if your titles are not added. You know it won't show here. So, but I sincerely welcome everyone, and I appreciate the team for this privilege to be a part of what you're doing tonight. I don't take it for granted at all. I'll go straight away, and let me also register my observation. I observe that everyone taking one activity of the other kept to time. So I've started measuring my time management skill of everyone on board tonight. So thank you so much for keeping to time. So straight away, we are looking at how we can improve time management for personal enhancement. Two key things or two key concepts included in this topic. Number one is time management. Number two, personal enhancement. So we're going to consider that in few minutes. Now, by way of introduction, let me start by saying that all activities of life are governed by time. We have the scripture in Ecclesiastes 3 saying that to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the sun. So life is governed by time. And when we say life or life's activities are governed by time, what are we talking about? Talk about duration of time, and we are talking about appropriateness of activities that we do in time. Duration. For instance, it doesn't take an hour for someone to eat. When you find someone sitting down to eat an hour, that is not ordinary eating anymore. The Guinness Book of Record will have to come in to tell us this person has done something wonderful, something unusual, because such activity is governed by time. It takes like 10, maybe maximum 15 minutes to eat. Football match is for 45 minutes in session. You can't find a football match that lingers forever. When that happens, it is no longer considered a normal game. So in terms of duration, time pegs activities. And also in terms of appropriateness, there are things that are meant for some time, and some things ought not to be done at some other times. For instance, you can get to a wedding ceremony and you are crying. People will ask, what's wrong? Because everybody there is expected to be happy. Everybody is not expected to be in a joyous mood. But when you get there and you are looking gloomy, people ask, is there any problem? But if you're there and you're smiling, you're happy, people will not ask you what's the problem, because the activity you are suggesting at that time is appropriate. So let's get the mind. Time rules life, and by time we are talking about duration, and we're talking about appropriate time to purpose. He said there is a time for everyone under earth. Does that mean a man's purpose is regulated by time? A man's purpose is all regulated by time. And purpose in this dimension, I'm talking about a man's life's assignment. I'm talking about motives for things that we do part time. I'll repeat that again for the purpose of those who are writing. A man's purpose is regulated by time, meaning that time regulates our life's assignment, and time regulates our motives for what we do. So when I mentioned the time for every purpose, it's talking about the fact that what you have to do here is meant to be carried out at a particular time. And since we don't own our lives, then it is very important that we discipline ourselves, knowing how to manage time, so we can make the best of why we are here. We can make the best of our life's assignment. Our life's assignment is perpetual time. Jesus will not have been born or will not started his ministry at age 29. He needed to start at age 30. And Jesus would not have run his ministry for 4 years. By design, his ministry will run for 3 years. I mean, humanly speaking, I wouldn't expect him to run his ministry for so long a time. Such a man that the Bible refers to as a man of sorrow. I don't expect his ministry to run for such a long time. So for taking 3.5 years, I think it's okay. For the ministry that Jesus had, having to put upon everybody sorrow. So our lives, and it is run by time. Also, motives for doing things is judged by time. For instance, if I dare to sit down, not doing anything, or watching television, you may not say that I'm fine. If I am doing that after a hard work, if I am relaxing after a hard work and I am doing nothing, you will say I'm wasting time. There are other times when you sit down and doing nothing, and people will say you are wasting time. Why? Because you have not done anything prior to that warrant you rest. So when my motive for whatever I'm doing is appropriate, when it aligns with the time when I'm doing it, then I can be said that the purpose for that action is justifiable. So the quality of a man's life, you can see from this explanation of purpose being regulated by time, is that the quality of our life is determined by how we manage time. If our life's assignment is governed by time, then the quality will be determined by how well we are able to manage time. And that's why this topic we are considering tonight is very, very important. It connects to the art of why we are here on earth. Most people don't realize that time is cardinal to what you are doing on earth. Time is very, very essential to what we are doing. It behoves on Daniel to go to God, to cry to God, when time appointed prophetically for the people to be free from Babylon, when it was being extended. Daniel, having an understanding that they were meant to be there for 70 years, he had to go to God. That what's happening? Lord, it's 70. We have done 70. These people, they have done 70. It's going beyond 70. And on the basis of time, Daniel had to present his case. These people cannot be perpetually. And it will have everyone that God did not even do anything. Only Daniel discovered the time. And he had to pray based on what was prophetically assigned by time for that event to lapse. So when it was exceeding the time, he had to go to God. Lord, it's 70 years. That's what is written. So time directly affects what we are doing here on earth. That's why nobody should wake up and joke with time. Now, another thing we must learn about time is that it can be spent, it can be invested, it can be wasted, it can be redeemed or mismanaged. 5 things you can do with our time. I'll repeat it. Number 1, you can spend time. Number 2, you can invest your time. Number 3, you can waste your time. But you are not exchanging
Okay, so I think Dr. Jonvadi has a poor network there. It's off, so it's going to come up any moment from now. So he was talking about okay, he's back now. Okay, you're welcome back, sir.
Sorry, I had an interruption there. So, okay, thank you. So I mentioned that it's possible for a man to spend his time, it's possible for him to invest his time, it's possible to waste his time, it's possible to redeem his time. The Bible talks about redeem time, and it's possible to mismanage time. I did mention that we waste time when we are not exchanging it for value. What you are doing, you should be able to ask yourself, what value is this thing I'm doing? What is that to my? If you are coming from what you are doing, directly or indirectly, then you are wasting time. And it's bad to waste time. Number two thing we can do with time is to mismanage time. Now, you are not wasting time now, you are mismanaging. When are you mismanaging time? When you are doing the wrong thing at the right time, or the right time at the wrong the right time you are doing the wrong thing at the right time, or you are using the right time to do a wrong thing. It means you are mismanaging time. Now you are getting value really. Imagine someone who is responding to mail during a church service. Responding to your mail is good. It's adding value to maybe your business, it's adding value to your profession, but you are doing it at the wrong time. It's adding value, but that's not the time that it's meant for it to be done. So mismanaging time is inappropriate. It is not thought of together, may not be bad, but it's inappropriate. Another thing we do with time is we can redeem time. People redeem time when they have wasted it. They seek opportunity to get value for the value they have missed at a point in time. They try to get it done. Imagine someone who has been running a ministry as a pastor for 20 years. Now suddenly realize that he's meant to be an evangelist and not a pastor. And then he's now doing what he's supposed to do as an evangelist at age 50. Now he's not going to be as effective as someone who realized he's supposed to be an evangelist at 25, and he started as an evangelist at 25. Someone who has wasted his time as a pastor for 20 years, and then at age 50 now realize he's supposed to be an evangelist. Now it's okay, it's fine, but it will not be as effective as he ought to be. He will not have been as productive as he ought to be. He will not have achieved much as he ought to be, depending on the time that is left for him. So redeeming time is also manageable. I will say is tolerable. It's tolerable. Another thing we do with time is that we spend time. We spend time. Now, when do we spend time? When we exchange value for time. When we exchange value, when you consider what you're doing and you realize that is adding value to you, is either increasing your psychological disposition to a particular thing, is building your character, is shaping your vision, is doing something tangible to you, is adding to your knowledge, is increasing your spirituality in terms of being closer to God, and so on. So we spend time when it has value to us. Now, spending time is different from investing time. Is like when we invest time, the value you get is much more than when you spend time. What do I mean by that? For instance, it's a good thing to buy a car as well as to buy a land. Now, agree with me that when you buy a land, you are investing much more than when you buy a car. When you buy a house, it takes you to work and then you get your salary or get your business done. When you invest in land, it multiplies. That's an investment that yield higher than when you get a car. The moment you get a car, you start spending on it. The moment you get a land, it starts accumulating profit or gain for you. That's the difference between spending time and investing time. It has to do with the rate of quality, rate of values that we get out of time. For instance, if you read your Bible, for instance, at your leisure time, you get more gain than when you watch television at your leisure time. The value that both of them have values, but the value derivable in one is more than another. So to summarize this point now, I will say that wasting time is bad. Mismanaging time is inappropriate. Redeeming time is tolerable. Spending time is good. But investing time is the best. Investing time is the best. Now, what's the point here? That try and get the best of value from whatever you're doing part time. You should be conscious enough to know, to tell yourself that this thing I'm doing I'm investing in myself, I'm investing in my future. It's good to spend time, but better to invest time. Now, this serves as introduction to the topic, improving time management for personal enhancement. What do we mean by time management? Time management has to do with organizing and planning how to divide your time between different activities. I'll repeat, because of those of us who are writing, it has to do with organizing and planning how to divide your time between different activities. You are conscious enough to know that your time is of essence and it directly impacts on your productivity every day. And then from that consciousness, you're able to organize and plan and divide it between different activities. Now, what do we call personal enhancement? Personal enhancement means increasing your productivity. It can be as simple as that, increasing your productivity. Now, when we put the two together, improving time management for personal enhancement, we are talking about you taking conscious of ability to plan your time and divide it between your daily activities in such a way that you increase your productivity. I'll take that again. When we talk about time management for personal enhancement, we are talking about organizing, planning, and dividing your time between activities, knowing what to do and when to do, being conscious of what you're doing on a daily basis, so that you can increase your productivity. Because a man's productivity actually is his worth. People will not pay you 1 million naira when your productivity worth 100,000 naira. Nobody will be that gullible. Nobody will be gullible to pay you 2 million naira for a productivity worth 50,000 naira. Nobody will do that. Your productivity is your worth. So, and your productivity is directly proportional to your ability to manage time per day. Now, Bro Segun mentioned earlier that there are a lot of graduates that can add values to their life by additional certificate or degrees that they get. And that is true. Because all that most of them learn in school are just the theories, and it's okay. That will serve as foundation. But what value can you directly impart on a company? What is that skill that you have that other persons don't have, or that other people can't do it the way you do it. Why you do it differently? What's so special about what you have to offer? Because that is what employers are looking for. And even in the business world, what unique brand are you bringing on board? What unique value are you ready to offer to customers? What special thing do you want to bring to the marketplace that is different from what others have been doing? That's about productivity. The value you want to add to a particular company or to a particular venture, it's a particular ecosystem, it's what people will pay for. People will not pay for your degree. They will pay for the value that you have to offer. So we're talking about how to manage time, how to regulate it in such a way that your life is productive. Now, what are those strategies for improving the way we manage our time for personal enhancement? I'll just talk about them straight away. Number one, learn to conduct a time audit. You must learn to conduct a time audit. Now, what do I mean by that? Learn to track how you spend your time to identify areas where you can be more efficient. Learn to track how, the key word here is learn to track how you spend your time to identify areas where you can be more efficient. You must be conscious about how you spend your time. You must ask yourself anytime you are going to bed, what did I do today? What better ways could I have done them? We should not just spend our days just like that. There are people who are old, but they are not effective, they are not productive. Someone will have 40 years, if you're on his 40th birthday, he will realize that he will have done things differently. That shouldn't be. To track what you do per day. It's what you do per day, what the future you face. It's not the kind of prayer you pray per day. It's your level of, is what you do day. And it's traceable to your productivity. Yes, prayer helps in giving you ideas because it empowers us to get wealth. Prayer helps in supplying grace. Prayer helps in supplying wisdom. These are things God does on his own part. What do you do with all these resources that God gives you per day? You pray. Now he has given you wisdom. Now he has given you strength. Now he has given you grace. Now he has given you anointing. Now he has given you everything he can do. Now what he leaves you, he now leaves you to take those resources and put them to you. So track what you spend your time on every day and identify areas where you can be more efficient. Number two, in managing time, we've got to learn to set priorities using the Eisenhower matrix. We set priorities using the Eisenhower matrix. Now, what is Eisenhower matrix? It is a tool for setting priorities based on urgency and importance. A tool for setting priorities based on urgency and importance. Now, Eisenhower matrix has 4 quadrants. 4 quadrants. Number one, things that are urgent but not important. Number two, things that are important but not urgent. Number three, things that are neither urgent nor important. Number four, things that are important and urgent. These are the 4 quadrants of Eisenhower matrix. Number one.
Sorry, sir. Can you post in the chat box, sir? So in case people want to track it directly, sir.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Are you talking about the point I just mentioned now?
Yes, sir. No, the quadrant, sir.
Okay. Yes. I'm typing it straight away. So we're talking about things that are urgent but not important, things that are important, but not urgent, okay.
Thank you, sir.
I hope you can get it.
Yes, sir.
It's in the chat box.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got it.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So these are the 4 quadrants of Eisenhower matrix. Things that are urgent but not important. Things that are important but not urgent. Things that are neither urgent nor important, that is, they are not urgent, they are not important. And things that are important and urgent. For instance, posting to social media, for instance, may be urgent but not important. Except you are posting as a pastor, you're posting something, an instruction from the general overseer to the church, then it becomes urgent and important. All right. Otherwise, you just came across something, and then you are doing your office assignment, and a thought runs across your mind, and you want to leave whatever the office task, and then you want to quickly go and post on Twitter. No, that's urgent, but not important. You have to finish that comes first. I'm not saying what you are post on social media is not urgent, but not important. I mean, at that time, we are talking about setting priorities now per time. So we must know that out of 2 or 3 activities, which one should come first? I'm doing my office job. Now, a thought runs through my mind that I need to put on Twitter. You have to first rest. Maybe you write it somewhere so you will not forget. And then when you are done with that office job, you can now post it later. That's an example of something that is urgent but not important. Number 2 are things that are important but not urgent. For instance, visiting the gym. If you are in the class of those who enjoy going to gym, for instance, or doing exercise, it's very important, but it's not urgent. So you don't skip your morning devotion for exercise, for physical exercise. All right? Morning devotion should be prioritized in the morning over your morning exercise. Morning exercise is important, but not urgent. In terms of priority, your morning devotion comes before your physical exercise. That at that time, your gym or your physical exercise is important, but not urgent. Number 3 are things that are neither urgent nor important. For instance, you have an assignment to do as a student, and you have to see a movie. And you know that in seeing that movie that night, you will likely sleep off, and then it will deny you doing your assignment. That is something that is, seeing that movie is neither urgent nor important. It's none of the two. In terms of priority, there's nothing wrong in seeing movie, all right? But in terms of priority, one comes before the other. Doing your assignment, you come before that. All right, your friends say, let's hang out. And you have church service Wednesday evening. That's hanging out, that your church service is a priority over hanging out with your friends. There's nothing wrong with hanging out with your friend, but in terms of priority now, your choice will come. You're going on a hangout, neither urgent nor important. I hope you get my point now, because we are talking about the order of priority now. Okay. Now, there are things that are important and urgent. For instance, having to make your class by 8 a.m. If your class is 8 a.m., okay, and you happen to wake up 7:30, now going to class is both important and urgent. That's not it to gist about a lecturer or gist about a movie you watched yesterday. Gisting at that time becomes both a waste of time, all right, and shouldn't take your priority. If you have to gist, come back maybe after the lecture. So time priority, the quadrants, these four help us to prioritize. And of course, as they say in economics, just as human needs are insatiable, things we do in time are also insatiable. We've got to learn to prioritize them so that we can get the best of our daily daily activities. Number 3, we must learn to dedicate time to specific types of work. For you to manage time well for personal enhancement, you've got to learn to dedicate time to specific tasks. Don't just do things anyhow. Learn to dedicate time to specific tasks. Okay? I have 5 things to be done. Okay? Create a to-do list. I have a brother who used to make lists previous nights. He doesn't wake up to start activities of the day, to just face the day. He will prepare prior to the next day what he will do the next day. He will list them out. In listing them out, you will prioritize. It will help you to prioritize, number 1. Then number 2, it will help you to organize your time. And then you can dedicate time to activities. Number 4, sorry, sir, when should I stop? This is 13 minutes past 8 by my time here. I need to be sure when to stop.
Yes, sir, by 8:30, sir.
By 8:30, okay.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. So learn to dedicate your time to specific tasks or type of work. Create to-do list. Number 4, you need to learn to identify your peak performance time. That's to be productive. Learn to identify your peak performance time. For instance, I prefer to wake up as early as 5:30, have my devotion. If I don't have 8 o'clock class, I prefer to still go back and take my nap before I face the day, because I realize that I am most effective between 9 and 2 p.m. Anytime from 2, I just want to do some maybe social media, praying, visiting, or any other thing. I want to rest. Anytime from 2. But between 9 and 2, I'm at my peak. So the most important job or tasks for the day at that period, I put them on. So learn to identify your peak performance time. There are students that can't read at night. Don't copy your friend. If you can't read at night, it's not a sin, though. Don't say those a few co-students, they go to school, they read overnight. If your own peak performance time is reading during the day, read during the day. Read during the day. If the best time for you to read is at night, you're a person that is easily distracted, please do. I have students who read best with music. I was shocked when one of my students told me that he reads best with music. I said, how do you concentrate? He will put ears there and then he's reading. He said, oh, guy, if I don't do that, I'll be distracted. I said, wow, wow. So identify your peak performance time. When is it best to do a certain thing? All right. Number 5, treat your time like it's money. Treat your time like it's money. Imagine God coming to you and telling you that, see, as from today, once you do what is important and urgent, I will give you 10,000 naira per hour. 10,000 naira per hour. What is important and urgent. Now, if you do what is urgent but not important, I will give you 5,000 per hour. Now, if you do what is important but not urgent, I will give you 1,000 naira per hour. Now, if you do what is not important and what is not urgent, I won't give you anything. Now, I'm sure most of us, you will want to all do what is important and urgent, right? Because 10,000 naira is a time per hour. That's how you should see your time. Always go for things that are important and urgent. That will help you imaginary 10,000 naira per hour. You are increasing productivity of your life. You know, I said earlier that people will pay you for level of productivity. So if you keep doing what is important and urgent, you will be increasing your productivity and your worth will increase. So treat your time like it's money. So know that when you are watching movies, God, no money from God. Gossiping about.
So, okay, so Doctor will soon be back. I think he has a poor network there.
Sorry, it's another interruption there. So treat your time like it's money. Number 6, I want to move a little bit faster. I must finish before it. Get organized. Now, you know, there are people that are very busy every day. But at the end of the day, just ask them to write out what they have done for the day. You won't find something of quality. They were busy through the day. They were busy running here and there and there and there and there and there and there. But all they have done are things that are urgent but not important, or things that are important but not urgent, or things that are neither urgent nor important all through the day. Everything he did throughout that day, there is nothing that is both important and urgent there. So you should be like that. You should not just be someone who is busy. All right? You should be busy doing things that add a significant value to you. So how do we organize activities per time? You need to implement systems for managing tasks so you can streamline your workflow. Repeat that. Try to implement systems, put in place systems, implement systems for managing tasks to streamline your outflow. Put in a system is something as small as what I've said earlier. You know that your peak performance time is between 9 and 2. You have 4 things to do. Which one is the first? Peg it between 9 and 10. For instance, let me use student activity. For instance, you need to read for exam, all right, or you need to study, right? It's not when they release exam timetable to study. A good student will study far ahead of exam period, All right. So you will give yourself a private study time. All right. I have 10 courses or 11 courses I'm doing this semester. I'm going to read 2 per day. All right. To cover the 11, and then one on Saturday because it's going to be busy, and then none on Sunday because I'm going to rest throughout. So the 2 for each day, you peg one, maybe depending on your peak performance time. All right, I'll read the first one between 5:30 and 6, and then the second one between 10 p.m. and 10:30 p.m. It's as simple as that. You have put a system in place to manage your task so you can streamline your outflow so that your productivity can be enhanced. So put something in place. A life without structure is going nowhere. You need to structure your activities per time. All right. This course is a little bit harder than the other one. So I'm going to give it 45 minutes. This course, I understand this one is not difficult. So I'm going to give it 20 minutes. So you give more time to the other course, you give less time to this course. That's how to create a system to manage your task. Put a structure to what you're doing per time. Number 7, learn to delegate tasks when necessary. Learn to delegate tasks when necessary. There is no point traveling to go buy textbook at a shop that is close to your friend's house. All right, there's no point. Learn to delegate when necessary. Tell your friend, Tosin, help me get so when you're coming to school tomorrow. All right, or you need to go out, you need to touch like 3 or 4 places instead of going to this point number A and then you come back, and later you go to point number B and then you come back. Later you go to point number C, you come back, and then later if you can places, go at the same time. Depending on what you have to do there anyway, there is a way you can connect them, and then from point A, you go to B, you go to C, and then you come back. And then you come back. Delegate. Number 8, I guess now, incorporate breaks into your day. Don't be someone who always works. Because of our time, I'm going to make the key points available later to be sent to us. Okay. I wish I could type it, but because of time, I'll just run through it and then I'll make the points available to us later. So learn to take a break. Okay, your productivity will be enhanced when you learn to take a break. Incorporate breaks into your day. Okay, it's not a good day when you only work all through. You'll get tired and you're not going to give your best to what you're doing. Number 9, learn to break things down. Learn to break things down. Okay, your larger intimidating task can be broken down into several smaller tasks. I'll take that again. Your larger intimidating task can be broken down into several smaller tasks. You can break down what you want to do into piecemeal in such a way that your productivity can be guaranteed. When I was writing my PhD dissertation, I gave myself 2 years. It's a 3-year program. I gave myself 2 years. I want to finish in 2 years. And I gave myself deadline. I was to write 5 chapters. And I gave myself, this will take 3 months, this will take 4 months, this will take 5 months. And the chapter 1 will take 3 months. I'm going to write so for 2 days or 3 days, so for 3 days. So I broke it down. And God helped me. I finished on time. So learn to break things down, tasks into manageable size. That's how to enhance productivity. Another point is avoid distractions. Avoid distractions each day. Learn to identify distractions. Distractions are things that do not directly contribute to the value you want to derive from what you are doing every time. For instance, you are reading, all right? You want to understand what you're reading. So if you are not the type of student I cited earlier that loves to play music, that enjoys reading with music, if you are not that type, you're not going to entertain anywhere where they are playing music while reading. Or you yourself, you're not going to play music. That's a distraction. Okay? Now, but you can play music, all right, as a reward for completing a phase of a large task. If, for instance, you're done with your assignment, you can play music. It's allowed then. You can play music. But once you play that music, when you're supposed to be reading, that music becomes a distraction. So learn to avoid distractions, except to use those distractions as reward for completing a phase of a large task. All right. And the last point for tonight, you must practice saying no when necessary. Some of us, you have already planned your day, and then someone is telling you, oh, we need to go and see so person. Say, okay, that's okay, but can you give me the so time? That's a polite way of saying no. All right. So practice saying no when necessary. If requests from people are not consistent with your priorities and goals. All right. If what people want to do are not consistent with your priorities and goals, except you are still under your parents anyway, all right, you may not have the sole ownership of your time if you are still under your parents, right? Otherwise, you've got to manage your time and say no. If you are on your own and maybe you're an undergraduate and you have all the freedom to plan your time, learn to say no to your friends, learn to say no to your classmates, learn to say no to people without necessarily sounding rude. There are ways to say, oh, I'm sorry, but I have already planned to do this at so time. It will enhance your productivity. Otherwise, you're not going to achieve what you had set out to do for that day, and procrastination will set in. And we know that procrastination affects productivity in a way. So practice saying no when necessary, when people's requests are not consistent with your priorities and goals for that time. All right. As I've mentioned, your saying no doesn't have to be done in a rude or uncooperative manner. All right. But you must stick to things you have programmed to done part time. I hope I've been able to gain one thing or the other from my little teaching tonight. Thank you so much for your attention and your audience. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much for that, sir. I am personally blessed. I've been personally blessed by a lot of points. Like we said, time management is something very critical everybody has to master. And it's not something we graduate from. We have to keep disciplining ourselves to be better time managers. And there won't be a better time for this kind of training to come like we have it today. Really very much impactful. Thank you very much, sir. How many other people were impacted by that training tonight? Very critical. How many people were impacted by that training? Yes, time management is something very critical, you know. Time is life and then life is time. So what we've just had now is a training on how to manage your life, actually, how to manage our life. Okay, so it's a training on life management, if I would say. And that is to tell you how important the subject of time is. Life is time, time is life. So we've had a life management training. And if you manage your life, definitely there's no way it won't affect your results. The same way, if you manage your time well, like we have heard today, there's no way it won't enhance your performance in life. So it is just something critical. You know, a lot of people might be looking down at the subject of time. Oh, fast. Some people, maybe when they saw the flyer, time, we all know about time. No, I mean, it's not something new. It's not just, you know, it's something common. You know, it's very easy to be familiar with some very key core concepts that produce result that you are looking for. You know, people are looking for result. yet they overlook the minor things that can bring the results. Time is one of such things. So time is one of such things that can bring results, yet it is one of the most underrated subjects. So you can imagine that how will result come when you underrate what can bring the results, because time is life. So it's a major eye opener for me personally, and also I'm guilty of some of these points, like making to-do lists. I do that often, but I have sticky notes all in different areas in my room every single time. Sticky notes here and there, to-do lists, also on my phone, on my tabs, everywhere I have to-do lists, but most times I don't follow them. I've read it again tonight. It helps us to prioritize things. When you have to-do list, it helps you to prioritize things and we have better results. So everybody, I mean, it's something that we can't say we don't need. Everybody needs to understand how to manage time, and in a way, we will have been learning how to manage our life for better performance. Also, thank you very much for that, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that, sir. We'll be moving to the question and answer sessions now. For those who have questions, feel free to ask your question on whatever area of time management tonight. And let's see who is with questions. If your heart is inditing a matter around questions, then it's time to raise your hand. If you have questions, you want to ask. So Dr. Jombadi is still very much here, so you can raise your hand and ask your question. Okay. Okay. Miss Oluwaseyi, yeah, okay, you've got a question. Okay, we'll drop it in the chat. Okay, I guess maybe you're unable to talk. Okay, all right, you can drop it in the chat. So, who has a question? Anyone with any question about the subject of time management? Or maybe there was a point that you didn't get, that you need a bit of clarification, and maybe you want it to be revisited or something. So you can just quickly say that now. Okay, so well, if you don't have, I think I will ask this from Doctor just for better clarification. So how do we place a clear-cut difference between spending time and investing time, sir? And then with clear-cut examples too, sir. So practical examples that we can also relate with what's the dividing sharp difference between spending time and wasting time.
Okay. All right, can I just respond to that?
Yep.
Or take
Yes,
on
sir.
the question? Okay. Now, I mentioned earlier, I think it has to do with the level or the rate of value that we get based on what we do. I made mention of two things: buying a car and buying a land. All right. If I already have a car and then I have opportunity to buy another one, and then maybe someone just, there's one land somewhere we to buy, I'd rather buy the land than buy a second car, because the land is more, with more gain, is of more value than the car. Even though buying both, is, we'll say, is a good thing. Okay, but one has more value. So it has to do with the level of value or the rate of value that we derive based on what we do. So if two things are of priority, for instance, I will ask, which one will give me more value than the other? All right. For instance, you spend your time on physical exercise, for instance, and then I have 30 minutes. I just woke up in the morning I have only 30 minutes, to either do physical exercise or to pray. Now, both of them will give me value. One is spiritual, the other is physical. All right. But the value that the spiritual will give me will be more than that of the physical. So I'd rather pray within that period, all right, than to do the exercise. That's it. So doing exercise at that time is spending time. The value is not as important as prayer. With the prayer, I'm investing time. And that's the premise on which we talk about priority. What is important, all right, what should come first is based on the extent of value that is derivable from the two activities. Which one will give me more value than the other? You will agree with me that when you spend on a product, all right, you exchange your money for value. That's what we do. When we buy a product, you exchange your money for a value. All right. But when you invest, you are still exchanging money for value, but at a larger, though future, instance. You are putting something into the future. You are seeding something into the future that will give you more value than what you should have done now. I don't know if you understand me, sir. So it has to do with the extent of values that the two activities can give me. That's the difference between spending it and investing time.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank
Sir.
you for that clarification, sir. And I want to believe everybody also learned from that. Thank you, sir. Okay, so Ms. Oluwaseyi asked a question here. I will read it out. There are times I have so many things to do. I make the to-do list, but sometimes I just it just looks so cumbersome and I struggle to even start. I've noticed once I'm able to break through the starting, I find it easy. But that starting could also take much struggle. Any help and advice for me, please? So that's the question, sir.
All right. Thank you. I think while it's difficult in the first instance to start, it's because it's cumbersome. Or it looks so cumbersome. Okay. That's a disincentive. That perception of that activity looking cumbersome is a disincentive. So the first thing you do is to break down that task. That will be an incentive for motivation to start at all. Sometimes when an activity looks cumbersome, nobody wants to do it. But when it looks simple, you want to quickly do it because it's a simple thing. So the best way to handle it is to motivate yourself to do it. And the way to motivate yourself to do it is by breaking down that task into smaller tasks. Say you need to write an article as a student, okay? Then learn to start by drawing the outline. Once you draw the outline, it gives you, a view of what you want to do. And then by giving you a view of what you want to do, your mindset towards that thing changes. That, oh, I can do this. I already know what I want to do. Gradually, you write your introduction. By writing your introduction, gradually it's coming, and then you give yourself time. Okay, so time, I will write the body. So time, I will write the conclusion. So learn to break down what seemingly appears to be cumbersome, any task that looks cumbersome, learn to break it down, either by writing or in your mental planning. You break it down, all right? And then you implement systems for managing it. All right? You've broken it down. I'm going to do it this way. I'll do this. I will do this. And then I'll do this first. I will do this next. I will do this next. If possible, put time to it. I will do this at 8. I will do next at 11. I will do this such time permits, except it is urgent. And it is something we should learn to plan ahead. It's not a good thing to always rush. There's always room to plan ahead. Sometimes a job looks cumbersome because we want to approach everything at once, when we ought to have been planning ahead, far beyond ahead of time, when that thing ought to be done. So we should also embrace planning ahead. What you want to do in the next 1 week, start planning to do it now. If possible, put everything in place now. Everything you need to carry out that thing, put it in place now, so that by the time you start, you will just flow. All right.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Even me personally, I learned from that also. I learned specifically from that, and I want to believe Mr. Oluwaseye also got, okay, so you got that too, and that's also a plus for everyone. So thank you very much, sir. Does anybody have any other question before we release our esteemed doctor tonight? Anybody with any question? Okay, so in the absence of none, we want to thank you once again very much. We understand how busy today has been. How I personally also am aware of the sacrifice you made to be here. We acknowledge and we recognize that. Thank you very much, sir. We know it's also part of giving back to the society as much as possible. We know quite well, there's a way God pays these things back in different ways. So we recognize the sacrifice you've made to be here. Thank you very much, sir. And we really do pray that you get rewarded handsomely in returns for the time and the wealth of experience shared with us tonight. Thank you very much, sir. We are very grateful. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir. Can we say thank you to our dear
doctor? The pleasure is actually mine. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So, all right, everyone, thank you for being here. We have a couple of things more to discuss before we go. First, I want to sensitize us to the fact that we need to take advantage of these things we've learned. Personal development is something that I'm telling you very sincerely that it's something we have to struggle to maintain and sustain. Personal development is not something that will be easy to maintain. You have to fight time hard for it. You have to fight for it. Otherwise, it is very easy to stick to convenience. But personal development does not work with convenience, but commitment. Okay. We had a couple of projects we initiated last year for these projects. We had a couple of, let me say, assignments listed out for this project when we kicked off. And different people did excellently well for themselves last year on this project, and we are very happy for that. So this is another year we expect much higher and better results from individuals as each person stays faithful to the mission and the essence of this project. Like we said, it's an outflow of the first official training we had as a community bank of opportunities, and an outflow of our passion to help people develop themselves, okay, which we can't overemphasize the importance of personal development, okay. So I'll just take a recap of, because since that time, we also know that a lot of people have joined the group, and a number of people have not been too familiar with some of those demands and what is expected of each person on the group. So I'll just quickly run through them. Please take note of them. If you need to write, because compliance is important. Like Ms. Adirunke said in the introductory phase of this meeting, one of the things we do on the PDT page is we remove inactive members. PDT page is not for members who want to come and count numbers of people on the page and be a passerby. No. It's not that kind of page that we accommodate inactive members. We don't want monitors. We don't want people that will come on the and assume the role of monitors, monitoring what is happening on the page and never become anything from the page. We won't accommodate that. We removed some people last year. So we won't stop at that. We'll remove people this year also. I mean, no strings attached. We are not, it's not fight, you know. Everybody signed up willingly to come for personal development. And if you are not fulfilling the terms of what you signed up for, then it's important to chicken out. It's just very simple. No strings attached. Just chicken out of the page. We are looking for people who will tap their convenience for the sake of commitment, so the better part of them can come up. Not people that we continue to feed their convenience at the expense of their commitment to what we get the best out of them. You won't become your best when you continue to live in convenience. That's the truth. You won't become your best. And that's why some people have actually not been breaking out in terms of their abilities and potential. They have a lot of potential, but they are not profiting from those potential. In fact, they have not even discovered themselves. A lot of people like that. So they have been given to so much convenience that convenience has become, laziness has also helped them to manage their convenience, that they are just amounting to nothing every single day. Okay, so to become the best version of yourself, then you have to be disciplined. And discipline cannot come in the zone of convenience. You have to be committed. Okay? And you can be rest assured, commitment will deny you of your comfort. It won't be comfortable, but you'll be better for it. That's what commitment does. So don't spare yourself. So on the page, we won't accommodate people who are running around on the page without doing anything. We want people that are settled down and doing something tangible and following what is expected on the page for themselves. I mean, whoever develops himself or herself does so for him or herself. Absolutely. I will be committed to my own personal development. You should be committed to yours. Everybody should be committed. I mean, I won't develop myself at the expense of another person. I won't help another person. I mean, whatever commitment whatever level of development I subject myself to is for my advantage. Okay? Others can now benefit from it because I have developed myself. If you develop yourself, others will benefit from it. But whatever you develop yourself to become, you are the first beneficiary of it. So that's why it's something personal. So PDT page is there to sensitize us, to create a platform that beats you out of that comfort zone and then get you running with the structure that we have. Okay. So, and one of the things we do on the page, just for emphasis sake, for those who joined much later in the year. So the first thing is we have shared more than, I think it should be close to 30 free online learning platforms where you can learn, develop yourself in different areas, different facets of life. Okay, different areas, time management, project management, and any profession, name it, different areas, facets of life. It covers everything. Okay, we've shared those links, and you can even acquire certificates online. Now, we can't even finish talking about the essence, the importance of acquiring those skills, learning those things, and acquiring the certificates now. We can't finish emphasizing the importance of those things. So that is part of what we do on the page, and everybody is expected to be sharing their learning progress on the page. Okay, as you progress with your learning, share it on the page. The reason for we telling people to share on the page is that, number one, you yourself get motivated. Number two is that your achievement motivates another person. Then number three is that we are also in the knowing that, yes, something great is going on this page. People are getting impacted. So for those three reasons, we want people to share. Okay? So share your learning progress with us as you acquire a certificate in a particular course, in a particular program. Share the knowledge with us. Let us know about it. Let others know about it. Share it on the page. Share it on your social media platforms. By that, you get yourself committed the more. You motivate yourself. You self-motivate doing that. So that is one. So as we are saying these things now, we're going to repost all those things on the page afresh for the year. So which we also mark like a fresh start for everyone on the PDT page. So Ms. Aderonke, please kindly take note of this. So you help us repost these things on the page after now. So the links to all the free online learning platforms that have been shared before. So we'll repost them on the page. That's one. Everybody's expected to pick one course, pick one area, pick one thing that you want to learn online. It is free. You pay no dime. So I see no reason people should not be learning and improving. So that is one. Then number two, we also do like a language learning kind of thing. If we can't overemphasize the importance of picking a language also. So we do that. Pick any language you are interested in. Who knows? What's going to happen in 5 years from now? You see yourself in France. And then 5 years ago, you started learning French. 5 years later, you found yourself in France. Who knows? So even if you don't find yourself in France, do you know that in Nigeria, from Nigeria, you can get a job and do it remotely just because you could speak French, just because you could speak German, just because you could speak Spanish? There are I can tell you there are a lot of jobs, there are a lot of opportunities out there for those who are qualified for them. And language is one of the things that can get you very good, I can tell you that, very good offers. So pick up a language, any language you want to learn, one at a time. Post the progress on the page. We recommended Duolingo for everyone. People started last year also. So pick a language. Start with one. And if you know your English language is not too good, you can even pick English language and learn, improve your English language there. So it can be any language. So pick one. Do it daily. Set a 30-day target and share your result with us. Duolingo has a way of motivating you with results, and then there's also leadership board. Okay, you see your position amongst several other people learning that same language across the world. That motivates you. So that's number two, language learning. So pick any language you want, and then begin to learn and share your daily progress on the page. Also very important. So that is two. So those two things will be reposted on the page, and everyone is expected to be responsive as from now. Okay, so we expect the report to come in on the page every day. It has to be every day. So put it on the page every day, and that helps you to track the progress you are making. Then we'll be having this training more regularly now this year. Okay, so our plan for the year is at least to have this kind of training once in a month, at least once in a month. Okay, and like I said, I personally have a couple of things that I would want to take the group through, a couple of trainings on personal development, touching different aspects of personal development now. Steps on how to develop your personal development plan, then 11 personal development skills to work on. There are about 11 personal development skills you need to work on. I'll walk us through all this. By the time we are done with all this, you know that actually, indeed, it's no joke. It's no joke. It's no joke. It's no joke. The year is so heavily loaded, and the future is so heavily loaded. We have to be fully ready for it. Okay, so we'll be taking this training every month like this, at least once in a month like this. So you can invite your friends, invite people that are not even part of the page. They can be part of it for the sake of the event. And if they want to be part of the in-house training now, and they want to submit to the structure of the training, they can join the WhatsApp page. Otherwise, they can just come to attend the event like this and then get what they want to get and then leave. So that will be all for now. I'll put a pause there for now, and we'll be welcoming Miss Aderonke to take the next session. So over to you.
All right, thank you so much. And it's really been it has really been a wonderful time, and I believe the same applies to every one of us there. So it's time for vote of thanks, and I'll be calling someone. Yeah, it's part of the routine that we have to do, learning to speak. I mean, learning public speaking. So I think I have Abimbola here. So can you unmute your mic and say a few words? Can you hear me, Abimbola?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right.
Good
Okay, let's
evening.
hear from you. Yes, good evening.
Yeah, thank you so much for this. Thank you to the BO team for putting this all together. I really do appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay, that's awesome. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for being a part of this awesome capacity training. I mean, the fact that we had this actually shows how the other capacity trainings will be the first of its kind, and it's this awesome. So I believe and I trust God that the other sessions we'll be having will be much more than this by God's grace. So everything, just as Mr. Bankole had said, everything you've learned, don't sleep over them. The best, I mean, the way you can get much more value from what you've read is acting on everything you've had. So by God's grace, we'll be meeting again next month by God's grace, just as he has said earlier that this will be a monthly kind of thing. And thank you so much once again for your time. It's been almost 2 hours now. Of course, not wasted. Yeah, it has been invested, right? Yeah, so next month we'll be meeting again by God's grace. So see you and stay blessed. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. As we round off, just a few announcements. Thank you very much for that. Okay, so can we have the few announcements from Mr. Shegun as we round off?
Okay, thank you, sir. All right. So just like you have had, our next PDT training will be in next month. We'll communicate the dates with us through the WhatsApp platform. And also, there is a big one coming. There's a big one coming by next week, and I will implore all of us here to try as much as possible to be part of it. We'll be having a capacity building training next week, where Dr. Busiyu Mekusi, PhD Professor of African Literature, will be here with us. I'm sure you have a great time tonight, and I want to implore you to make sure you are part of that capacity building training also, and you are going to really, really, be impacted. So next week, 20th Saturday, same time, make sure you are part of it, and you will be impacted. Also, I would like to let us know that we are on all social media. I mean, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram, WhatsApp for those of you that are there already. And then I would like you to follow us on YouTube. We post videos on YouTube. You can get short videos. Also, there are videos that we post there, that can help you to navigate with some of these questions in your heart. So subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, we'll post we'll post the link on the page now so that you can follow us, subscribe to it also, and then you get more value as you do that. So thank you so much. We'll be expecting to see you again. Over to you, sir, Mr. Bankole.
All right, thank you very much. This is where we'll be putting a pause until the next edition of this training. And as we round off, we encourage you to be part of the next training. The general corporate training happening next Saturday, 20th of January, is going to be heavy. Professor Bekusi is coming on this platform. We are so excited about that already. So if you are not registered yet, we implore you to register and also share the link. The link has been posted on the page, so on this Zoom chat now. So register for the event. It's free. It's free to attend. So Professor Busi Mekusi is going to be present for that training next Saturday. Okay, so everyone is encouraged to attend, parents, students, teachers, everybody, anywhere across the globe. So please also share the link with people. We want as many as possible to be part of the training. It is free to attend. It is free to register. Okay, so it promises to be awesome also. Okay, and we also are going to be launching some of the projects we have for this year, amazing projects we have for the year. We are getting closer to the community by getting involved in some empowerment programs already. And we also want to start with the members of the community, like one of them is though I've not even personally discussed this with with the other team members, but it's part of what we are considering, like a kind of empowerment program and sponsoring people on different things. Those who want to pick up a tech skill, we can of course, when we see your readiness and your seriousness, we can take you up as a project and sponsor you to go through a training, pick up a tech skill and get empowered for yourself, and you can prosper from there. So we have different projects that we want to use to get people on board and help people as much as possible, just apart from the trainings we're having also. So we're going to be launching some of these things next Saturday. So we expect as many as possible. Okay. Thank you once again very much. We appreciate you. Thank you. Have a great night rest and bye. Admins, please remain on the page, on the Zoom chat, please. Admins.
Please, time management. Time management. We need to talk about that. I feel there were different things that could have been compiled instead of different people taking it. Observation number 1.
Okay.
So what do you think about that?
Okay, we can talk. Everybody give your opinion. Give your opinion about it. And also give examples so that we know exactly what is
Okay.
being about.
Yeah, the area of, I think, I just announcements also have, anyway, this is the first time we're having this individualized kind of schedule. So I believe for subsequent meetings, announcement should come before vote of thanks. So vote of thanks should carry everything, like thanking if there are other things to be included, for example, sharing of social media pages and things like that. So that should be like the end of everything. Vote of thanks and rounding up. Then also I think the first part, which was the first charge that Mr. Shegun took, yeah, you